how we play the game, how we obviously having most of the ball and creating some opportunities. I think there was only one team, I think, that were trying to win the game. And
Van Dijk here. A lot of Liverpool fans today, a lot of the Liverpool media as well, trying to deflect this onto Man United. Only one team tried to win. United should be ashamed of where they are. No, there was an arrogance from Liverpool coming into this game. There's an arrogance from the football club that they would brush Manchester United aside with absolute ease. United are in crisis right now. United are in a horrible place, and we know that. So when it comes to predicting the outcome of this game, how both teams were going to play for this particular game, of course, Man United are going to play the way we did. We had to. There's no way of winning the other way around. But Liverpool, far too arrogant, in my opinion, for their own damn good.
Obviously, we heard Van Dijk speaking there. Obviously, a lot of arrogance coming out of him, dishing United like that. He needs a reminder himself. He's playing for a club who's won one title in 30-odd years. He's saying only one team wanted to win. Man United are buzzing with the point. Man United are in a difficult place. Like Liverpool have been in a difficult place for many a year. So maybe that bit of arrogance backfired on him today.
Listen, I agree with Roy Keane. I think I already had my thoughts after the game that a bit of arrogance crept in. I saw this clip late last night and thought to myself, it is true. And I've spoken about this for many years on the terrace, when everybody just believes a particular game is going to go one way and they don't make a case for their rivals. This happens. Now, some will say, Terry, you said there was no case for Arsenal at Man United. Played it down. I played it down. I just wanted to let people get run away with it themselves. And I do that every now and then. I knew there was a chance we could get something out of this game if we were compact and hard to break down. And in fact, we nearly won it at the end. Now, this isn't me saying I want my club to stay in this position that we find ourselves in right now. But in the vacuum and isolation of this particular game, Man United have humbled a very, 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 in my opinion, arrogant team.
Of Liverpool, if there was something to be critical
but
about.
the onus was on Liverpool to beat United.
I'll be critical of Liverpool if there's something to be critical at Liverpool about. One of the worst Man United teams we've ever seen, and you are unable to create clear-cut opportunities. Madness there from Graham Souness. If he's just bitter.
Down.
Yeah, well, the stats would suggest 12 corners
blah,
for
blah, 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 blah.
percent of possession would tell you they went after them. Was it how many shots on target? 18 shots on target. That would tell you a team was trying to win the game.
It tells you that they're profligate. It tells you if you have 34 shots on goal and 25%
I'll go
of
back
them
to where
on
it
target.
started with this. Liverpool were guilty of one thing and one thing only yesterday. They didn't take their chances when they
How dare you!
weren't as creative as they have been in the past. But that can happen in any game of football you play.
You hear what he said there? If I was going to be critical, if there was something to be critical of Liverpool about, I would criticise them. And then he goes on to say they weren't as creative as they normally are. So within, how many seconds are we into him saying that? 30 seconds of him saying there's zero to criticise Liverpool about. He speaks about not converting chances and not creating chances. Be critical about that. But he doesn't want to do it because he's biased. Equally, Liverpool failed to create because Man United stopped them. They didn't create the golden, barring some headers from corners, they didn't create the golden opportunities because Manchester United stopped them. Man United stopped them. And I'm not saying you don't praise Man United for where we are as a football club by the amount of money we spend, by our wage bill and our status. I understand that. But in terms of the vacuum of this game, people like Graham Souness were predicting an absolute annihilation. Instead of saying United stopped Liverpool, it was a good performance on the day from Manchester United. They are trying to move the goalposts after the fact because they're absolutely bona fidely arrogant.
stop it. Get some help.
After dropping points at home at Anfield against Manchester United, because I tell you what, I can't speak. I can't understand it. I cannot understand it. I've been over to film the football fill-in with Ben Foster today. I'm driving over there and I'm driving back, and all it is on the radio is Liverpool. It's not acceptable. It's not good enough. Liverpool should be held accountable for
That's right, by the way.
not being able to beat Manchester United yesterday. I've seen Liverpool fans taking pops at certain players, and I almost feel like going, this is a great football club, Liverpool, with intelligent fans, but I think some of them maybe not so, because I don't... Premier League in its 30-year history. You've drawn at home to your biggest rival, and there's an outcry of crisis. Oh my God! Are Liverpool in crisis? Are Liverpool in trouble? Well, I think there's a conversation to be had about whether they're good enough to win a title, and I want to talk about that. But crisis is incredible. I mean, some of the players that have been questioned, I've seen Nunez get questioned, I've seen Diaz get questioned, I've seen Mo Salah get questioned. I'm like, look, very simple about Mo Salah for me. Plays for our biggest rival. Nobody wants him to flop more than me, but he's the best player in the league. And I hate to say it, but he is. He's an incredible player. If Liverpool fans don't want him, if you think it's time for him to go, get him in an Uber, send him to Old Trafford. Even though he's played for Liverpool, I'd take him in a heartbeat.
I like what Goldbridge is saying here, and I love the fact he's calling out, again, an arrogant Liverpool fan base. And some of them are being crazy. There's something at play in the Premier League this year which is going over everybody's heads. And I keep seeing tweets this year saying, the standard of the Premier League has dropped off. I don't believe that it has. I don't believe that it has. Man United standards this year have dropped off. You've got an emerging Newcastle team that have struggled with balancing the Premier League and the Champions League with the abundance of injuries that they've got. But that's part of the teething problems of a club like that. Man United, its own issue. But Villa, Arsenal, Liverpool, if you just look at their standards from last year to this, they've all improved. And the points total has never been the barometer. And this is the problem. The points totals that Liverpool and City were creating in recent years were brilliant for them. But that, for me, was a sign that there was a lot of weaker teams in the Premier League and that the better teams were able to beat everybody more consistently. The top 6 clashes were far more one-sided for those teams in that period. What you're now seeing is multiple teams improving and becoming better. And that's why the points barometer is often, for me, a bit of a fallacy. Yes, you should look at it. And, okay, you've got 20 more points this season versus last year. That shows you have improved. But it also can mean other teams have dropped off. It isn't a sole indicator about how good you are. But when you've got multiple teams playing at a higher level, all taking points off of each other, all generating good points totals, it shows you overall quality is high. And Liverpool fans, in terms of the knowing what it's like to challenge, are like, well, we're not running away with the league, then we're a bad team. You're not a bad team. I still think you can win the Premier League. But the Premier League is at a high quality of competitiveness again, in my opinion, for the first time since sort of 04 right through to 2013. I really do believe that. And listen, if Man United would have got themselves in order this year and Newcastle in a couple of years' time, they're going to be even better. Man United, we don't know yet. We'll see what happens with them. But the calling out of their players, I find crazy. And someone has sent me this clip. I haven't listened to it yet, but let's take a little listen here to Craig.
Salah to Saudi. Sell him. Time to go. Bye-bye. I'm done.
Oh.
Sell Salah to Saudi. Sell him. Time to go. Bye-bye. I'm done. I'm done.
Let's come up with this. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Sell him. Time to go. Bye-bye. I'm done. I'm done.
No, God, please, no. No.
Oh, bye-bye. I'm done. I'm done. To go. Bye-bye. I'm done. I'm done. Too many people living off reputations. I'm done. Sell them. Fuck off. Bye-bye. Thank you for everything. You're a hero. You're a legend. We love you and respect you, but by God, you're done.
We love and respect you. Get out. I love you so much, but get out. Craig, I'll listen to some more. Wow.
We said it before. The stats might be saying one thing, but the eye test doesn't lie. And
the eye test does lie. The eye test certainly lies because people used to think that St. Maximin was a baller. He wasn't. He had good skills and dribbling, but he wasn't a good football player. It lies in every direction. Mo Salah, is he best this year? No. But Liverpool are second in the league. And they struggled yesterday because Man United on the day played well. Man United stayed in shape. Man United made it hard for Liverpool. They created allowed very little space. And they've got decent players in those positions doing it. I just don't look at this as Salah was bad. He's got to be sold. We're not going to win with him. There's nothing wrong with improving on Mo Salah or improving around him. But I think this is an absolute exaggeration It really is. And it boils down to what I already said. I don't think people are understanding the overall quality of the league is a very big high right now. There's multiple teams at a top level. And that means everyone gets less points. Everyone will lose and draw more games. When we went through this period where, oh my God, the teams of the 90s and the noughties are nowhere near this level because they're not getting high 90, 100 points. No, they were competing against lots of other teams that were at a higher standard. First to fifth, sixth, seventh was of an overall higher standard then compared to now. We're now catching back up again. All that's throwing that off this year is 2 teams in the Champions League have had poor seasons. But if you actually throw Liverpool into the Champions League as an example, they do well this year. You know, you look at Spurs in the Champions League this year. What would they be doing? The overall standard this season has gone up. The points barometer is what's blinding people here, in my personal opinion. But Mo Salah leaving. Let me know what you think, people.
Let's go! Come on!
That Paul Merson even came out and said, "What a Bergkamp best goal!" Like I haven't seen the goal against Newcastle. The only time I've ever seen a player score a goal.
Oh, that goal was quality. Yeah, that goal was quality.
Anything near a Bergkamp, bruv. I haven't seen it. I genuinely haven't seen it.
Bruno did it in the Premier League. Bruno did almost an identical goal, flicked it round a defender, spun, went through and scored. But yeah, I get him.
So when I see this,
Bruno prop,
bruv. Listen, you gotta get your stocks in now, bruv, because I'm telling you now, they're coming for you. It's Kai Havertz, silky German. I'll tell you this. Oh, Gunner, do you know what it's worth? Kai Havertz is the best on earth. The silky German is just what you need. He won Chelsea, the Champions League, and he's man. Then we sell this guy to fucking our rivals, and he's bagging clutch goals and sending you top of the table and all this nonsense, bruv. I'm done, bruv. This clan, like, get him out, bruv. They don't have fucking killed our club. You've got to land it, bruv. Listen, I'm telling you, he's a baller, mate.
The one thing I'll say here, yeah, I listen, I ain't buying it, yeah. I ain't buying it, mate.
What, you don't trust minerals? Is that what it is? Because
do you think Lee should invest in some Kai Havertz stocks? I was looking at this, right? I was looking at his sort of season, as it were. And it obviously started very, very slowly. There's no doubt about that. You know, scored a goal against Bournemouth, got the assist against Man City, but was quiet. But as of late, winning goal against Brentford, got a goal in a 6-0 win over Arrogance, which is what it is. Very important goal against Luton, and then a match-winning goal against Brighton. Killed the game off, finished it. And I asked Lee this question a few weeks ago, and I didn't really get a straight answer. But how many more match-winning goals does he need to score? Just if we isolate it to match-winning goals for a moment, how many match-winning goals would a player have to score to warrant £60 million purchase in a season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4? If he wins 5 games a season for Arsenal over 4 years, does that pay some of that money back? What about his performances on top? That's a great question. But should Arsenal fans be buying stock in Kai Havertz? Let me know, people. I'm intrigued to know. Or should he still leave the football club?
It's time to go!
Yeah, how many times does he win 1 game out of 6 in a league? That's probably happened to him very rarely in his career.
Once before.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, there is an element of dropping off your standards, complacency, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't want to call it complacency, but, you know, I think there were times when we were in that position after a previous successful season where you, in the first part of the season, the games don't feel as serious or as big as you want them to be, and you just maybe ambling along, and then come February, they could be luring us in Manchester City, they just hit the Champions League knockout phase comes along, and all of a sudden it gets really serious, and Manchester City's players could step up and go on a great run, and they could go and win that league. But they may be, at this point, too far behind if they continue to drop points. Arsenal might be 7 or 8 points in front of them, and Arsenal may not do what they did last season, which is, falter badly in that running. So the reason I said that Arsenal would win it this year, I just thought that, and I think it'll come down to injuries in the end. The teams are picking up more injuries. If Arsenal keep their players fit, they've got an incredible chance of winning the league. But
I think it's a little disrespectful of Arsenal. And the reason why I say it's disrespectful is I do get your point about keeping players fit. But at the same time, I just think to myself, if Arsenal win the league, it's because they're the best team and best run club this season overall. You start putting this out now that, Arsenal have only won the league because they got less injuries. I think it negates the poor transfer window that Man City have got, their inability right now to get up for these games. Football has always been about more than just tactics and the overarching quality of your players. It has been about how good your club's recruitment is, the culture at your club, players being motivated, players being up for games, players fighting through adversity, the fan base staying on side, the fan base criticizing at the right times, the managers getting their purchases right, the managers getting their squad rotation right, the managers getting substitutions correct. It's more than just tactics and good tiki-taka football. It always has been, always will be. And I do think it's a little bit disrespectful from an Arsenal perspective here to just sort of turn this into a sort of conversation surrounding like, oh, if they get less amount of injuries, then they'll win the league. Arsenal have done brilliantly so far this season. Recruitment's been good. Even players like Kai Havertz that we all wrote off are stepping up and winning them games. It's not like Calvin Phillips or any of the replacements for Gundogan are stepping up and winning them games, is it? Because if Nunez was doing that, everyone would say, what a buy by Pep Guardiola. But it isn't kind of happening the other way around, is it?
They're still the best out there. But if you're obviously even Liverpool's camp, obviously Villa we mentioned, Arsenal, they must be looking and going, well, this is as good a chance as we've had obviously for a number of years.
This is true. It is a good opportunity with City and not quite at the races.
Tracking 2 points a game right now. You wonder actually how many it's going to be this season. Could be a big drop off 85, something like that, Jamie?
I hope it is, because I think that keeps a lot more teams involved. I mean, that's been the problem over the last few years, why City being so dominant. No one can just, you're starting a season. And certainly those seasons when Liverpool and City were going for the league, I mean, if you lost the game in October, you felt like the league was gone, you know.
This is true, but as I've already stated, I truly believe this. I don't call it a drop-off. It's other teams improving. Remember, mathematically, there's only a certain amount of points that can be distributed each year. There's a maximum amount of points that can be distributed. And for every team that wins, another team loses. So it lessens the amount of points every single round. So when you've got more teams generating a higher level of points, when teams improve and can all beat each other, the points totals for everybody decreases. Now, if you had 4 teams that got to Manchester City's Centurions level, none of them would reach 100 points unless the other 16 teams in the league were absolutely awful. Potentially, you could do it. But it would almost become impossible for them to all generate that level of points because you can't win enough games because there's too many teams that are that good. If you suddenly have, though, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams that are all at a much higher standard than, say, 5 years ago, there's less points. But that doesn't equally mean the teams are worse. We're doing again, and it could mean that, but the level of analysis that goes into this is crazy. I think it's disrespectful to Liverpool. I think it's disrespectful to Arsenal. And I think it's disrespectful to Aston Villa and Tottenham to suggest that things have fallen off. And that is why they have got a chance. But overall, people, look, I want you to hit the like button. I need you to subscribe. Go check out our TikTok page as well. Click that link in the description below or scan that QR code. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon.